And welcome back to Breakfast Television. Learning this morning about a Calgary startup hoping to encourage more victims to report sexual assault with a first-of-its-kind app and website. And here to tell us more about what's called SafeSpace is Rally Engine President Steve Hardy, who's joining me this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Steve and I were speaking off camera about the origins of the need for something like this, and you've been working with police in different capacity with missing children. So speak about how you came up with the idea for SafeSpace.
We got started about 5 years ago. We built a mobile rapid response network for the Missing Children Society of Canada and worked with law enforcement for that and have rolled it out across the country. That's led us to spin out Rally Engine, which has built a mobile campus safety system for universities and colleges. And it was really in our discussions with them about a year ago that they identified sexual assault as something that they needed a technology solution to match with what they're doing on the policy side.
Okay, so how does SafeSpace work?
SafeSpace is truly that. It's a safe space, a highly secure space for a survivor to come in to begin to draft out their report. It's not reported at that point, and it's time-stamped, so they can build out their recollection as they see fit and report only if and when they want to. Mm-hmm. They can report. It'll be released. It's an information escrow service, so we release it then to a reporting authority, or they can opt to wait for others. And so if others identify the same assailant, they would then be notified that you're not alone in coming forward, which is obviously a big factor.
Right, and I think that removes some barriers for victims who perhaps are too embarrassed to come forward or don't know how to report incidents. So this creates an ability for them to do that in a simple way, not necessarily anonymous, but how confidential is that information that is shared within this app and website?
It's highly confidential. So really the only person who has the key to it is the person making the report. Is the person that's drafting the report. Mm-hmm. Even as system operators, we don't access that data. It's encrypted a number of different ways. And like I said, there's very, very specific conditions on which it's released to a reporting authority.
Okay, and then what happens to that information? Where does that information go once it's reported?
So a reporting authority would be, it depends on the policy of the organization. It could be an HR department on campuses. It's student services or campus security. It might be law enforcement in some cases, or community-based victim services in other communities. Mm-hmm. So it really ranges, and we're working to build out more options for that end of the spectrum as well.
Right, and then the other capability is matching likeness in perpetrators and incidents. Yes,
so the report with others piece to identify in the drafted report, if the survivor chooses to, they can identify an assailant, and the system in the background will notice if there are common assailants, and if the survivors opted in to be contacted, if that's the case, mm-hmm. Then a disclosure will be made to the reporting authority. The reporting authority will reach out to them to ask if they now feel comfortable coming forward.
Okay, and what is your hope, and what's the initial feedback and how this is being used, and your hope for how this will be able to help people going forward?
Kind of counterintuitive. We want reporting rates to go up. That it's one of the big problems with sexual violence is that people don't feel comfortable with the reporting process. There's also a larger process with the adjudication and how law enforcement and campuses work with things. But on the reporting side, which is the piece that we're helping to figure out with everybody, is to provide a virtual option to complement the walk into an office piece, which has its own challenges, and to have that safe space for people to feel comfortable building out their story, to have that record, so that when they do come forward, it's a stronger report.
Right, and typically student populations are primarily on their phones and on their laptops, so that could be a good place to start. And where can people find SafeSpace?
At rallyengine.com/SafeSpace, and we encourage people to contact their companies or their campuses to make it part of their organizations.
Okay, terrific. Thank you so much for sharing this with us.
Thanks, Joe.
A Calgary idea here, and SafeSpace is what you can Google. Rally Engine is the website that you can go.